Okay, we are live. Hooray. Finally got it going. Okay. Hey, everybody. If you can't tell by my overlay graphics in the OneStream Live studio, I am here with Rachael Spiewak. Did I get
Spiewak.
it? Spiewak. Ah, I practiced beforehand. Rachael is the owner, community manager of Rock Your Tribe. She has an event coming up, Reels Fest, September 12th through the 14th. It's free, and she's going to talk to us today about killer live streaming strategies. And I want Rachael to go ahead and tell us what that is.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Erica. Hello, OneStream Live community. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be talking to live streamers um, because you already get it, right? Like the stuff I want to talk about today, you're already in the zone. So this is really, really exciting. So what I do is basically help business owners rock their Facebook groups, right? So growth, engagement, monetization, branding, sales funnel, like, all the things that go into a brand community for a business, just like this community, actually. A user group for a platform would be a brand community. So this is the exact kind of community that I would help with, right? Okay. With me so far? Okay. And so, of course, on social media, we love video. We love live video, especially the algorithms love live video. You know that, right? And then we also have a really cool tool, Reels, right? Short form, pre recorded video. So, we're going to talk about all these different kinds of video strategies and what it has to do with community in particular and how we can lean into our community to know what kind of video content we can create that's going to hit, the hardest when we put out pieces of content, video content into the world. So we know that people who are in our network or maybe beyond who don't really know us that well, they're not insiders yet. We know that when we show up on video, we're talking about the stuff that they care about. How is that?
It makes sense. It does. So Rachael was on my Thursday show, Talk Virtual. She was brilliant. Afterwards, she gave me tips to help me with my Facebook group. And I got to tell you how magic she is. It worked right after I put it in. She told me the information, I implemented it, and it worked. I don't even think it was like a full minute. So I hope you guys really pay attention to what she has to say about community building and how to use Reels because hands down, Rachael, for real, you're magic.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Been at it for a while, so it's it's nice to get that kind of feedback. And you know how it is, like you look at so many streamers, so many live streams, so many automated systems that have to do with live streaming, all the things that you're into, and you see enough examples, you start to spot patterns, and that it makes it easier for you to kind of nail it with people. Like you know what you're looking for, and you see it, and you're like, it's this little bit of information. And it really wasn't a lot, right? Like the thing that we talked about with each other for all of our viewers. So I'm not like, what is she talking about? It was the 3 membership questions to your Facebook group. And this is a big, big question. And I swear I'm going to relate this to live streaming and real videos and stuff. I promise you. A lot of people kind of come at 3 questions to your membership, to your Facebook group the same way. And a lot of the times you'll see things like, what do you want to learn here? What are you struggling with? Here's a long list of things that we could talk about in my group. What are you most interested in? And also being really, what's the word I'm looking for? Making people like answer all the questions. I mean, it's up to you, and it depends on like, if you have protected information inside your group. For example, like, I'm in a Jewish group, and so it's important that people establish that they're Jewish when they join the group. My friend is a boudoir photographer, so it's important that people establish that they're over 18 and women identified to be in that group. So, there are times when you might want to require somebody to answer a question. So just kind of put that aside for a minute. But we're opening the door to somebody who's just like knocking on the door, right? Imagine you're having a house party. house, right? We're in my house right now. This is literally like a wall of records in my house. This is what we do here. So when you come in, you know that this is my space, right? But I'm like throwing this party that anybody could come to, right? And someone comes knocking on my door, and I open the door, and like the first thing I say to them is, "What are you struggling with?" Like, excuse me, you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't do that in real life. That's not how we greet new people in real life. And if we were having a house party that a friend of a friend could come to, you would tell them first, like, hey, so this is we're just like playing words and playing like trivia games. It's super chill. You want to come in? Oh, that's for me. I'd like to come in. Okay, cool. How did you find this place? Oh, I know, blah blah blah. Oh, yeah. We go way back. Cool. Okay, do you want to exchange contact information right now? Like, give me your email address. I can keep you up to date on like other parties that I'm gonna have, right? That's it. And this way, we're establishing that somebody belongs in your community. We're asking a crucial marketing question. How did you find this place, right? And then we're getting the email. We should be building our mailing lists, right? Always build your mailing lists. So all the things that you wanted to put in the 3 questions, like what are you struggling with? What do you want to learn here? Pick a thing that, like, one of these topics, take that and make it your content in your group. Turn that into conversation starters and get people talking. You don't have to write long form content, you like that much, really, unless like people are asking you for answers about something. But you can take something from the what are you struggling with, what do you want to learn, and just ask a question about it. You don't even have to tell anybody anything. You could just, the one we came up with for your group, Erica, was, what's your favorite automations when it comes to virtual summits? And people had great answers. And now you've got this opportunity to go back and forth with people about the automations they like. And here's a little Jedi mind trick. If you ask people what's going well and they trust you, they'll eventually tell you what's not going well, right? Just like with your friends, they will unload on you when they feel safe with you. So start the conversation about stuff they care about and then see what shakes out. What shakes out in those comments, you can turn into your videos, that you can turn to long form live video. You can turn into reels. You can take all of the answers, see the trends, and say, you know what, I'm going to go live later and review everything that you guys just talked about and tell you my opinion about it. Cool. And then you can, when you schedule the live, you can put the link to it like in the comments. So I'm always trying to like take people here, and now you go here, and now you go here, right? Like, okay, we had this conversation. You know what? I loved what you guys had to say. I want to give you guys some shout outs. I'm going to go live later and I'm going to tell you my favorite thing. And if you have any questions, if you're not familiar with any of these platforms that anybody mentioned, like, come on the live and I'm going to go through them all because I'm familiar with all of them. And now you've positioned yourself as the expert without like writing a diatribe that nobody cares about anyway, right? You pull it out of the conversation. Now people care to listen to you talk about it. Huh?
That is brilliant. Genius. Seriously, there's so many people in my group that was talking about their automations and then their platforms. And it's like, and I just kept saying, I've seen them, I haven't used them, but I like how the layout is. And they asked me what platform do I like, because my go-to automation is, I'm not going to use you if you're not going to send out emails for me. If I can't set up the emails, I'm not going to use that platform. And then everyone's like, so what platform do you use? And I'm like, AirMeet.
Exactly. Right. So this is how you Jedi mind trick into positioning yourself as the authority on the topic without coming out and saying, I'm the authority on this topic. Because if you write a long post that was like, it's called Airtable, you said?
AirMeet.
Airtable, something else. If you wrote a post that was like, AirMeet is the #1 automator thing for virtual summits, and here are all the reasons why. How many people are going to read that? I mean, if you just come out and you're like, this, versus you start the conversation, get people talking, right? And eventually they're going to say, I use this because somebody told me to. I don't know really why. I don't know if it's the best, or like, I'm using this one and it actually costs a lot. And like the monthly subscription's kind of killing me right now. I wonder if there's something that's, more like, in my affordable zone, right? And you could even follow up like today, if you wanted to, like, what is bugging you the most about your automation platform. Now that you've already started the conversation, you've gotten people talking, and you can follow it up. You can always follow up in the comments on your own post. You can be like, I want to go live later to start to untangle this and make sure that you're using the right automation for your event, so you're not like working so hard, not tearing your hair out, whatever pain point kind of thing. But you're not leading with the pain points. You're not leading with like, what is your biggest struggle? And that's really vague anyway. Or like, what's your biggest struggle with summits? What's your biggest struggle with automations? Like, have the conversation, a fun one where people are contributing, and then you can follow up with, oh, by the way, like, what is something like really bugging you about your automation tool? Let's talk about it.
I really like that. I really think so. I did what you told me to do. It worked brilliantly. I did not come to the conclusion that I need to live stream about that subject, but it worked so well. I really think I will have a lot more interaction if I live stream on that topic and then tag those people who was in the conversation. I'm catching
Yes.
on.
Yes. Got it. I mean, I'm a systems thinker, you're a systems thinker, so you see it, right? So you can and give them shout outs too. I mean, go YouTuber style, right? Like this is what I have a 5-year-old, so we watch like a lot of YouTube. A lot. And the kid, he actually like talks to the mirror and reminds his audience to like and subscribe. Serious. But like the thing with the kids is like, if you engage in a certain way, we're going to give you a shout out. And people love, it's like positive reinforcement. People love that stuff. So give your
Yeah,
members shout outs in your live videos. So we're turning it, we were just talking about this before we started streaming, but like dialogue is way more interesting than monologue. So if you're just the one person showing up on screen, how do we break the fourth wall and turn it into dialogue? You talk to your people, you shout them out, you name drop them. You say, for this comment on this post, I loved it. You actually shifted my thinking about things, or like, I really want to answer your question. And then maybe you do like an ask me anything post, Reddit style, right? So you do a ask me anything about live streaming automations, and people can put their questions, and then you can say, okay, I'm going to go live at such and such time and such day, and that's where I'm going to answer these questions, right? So now you're leading people from the post to the live stream.
I like that too.
Mm-hmm. And then you clock the reactions, right? You pay attention to how people react to things. You can watch for trends and misconceptions, trends in, I mean, look for, like, I want to be pain point forward, but looking for this, like the sticky things, what's bugging people and what do people like also, like it works, in both ways. And take those sort of like soundbite, like thought nuggets, and those become your reels, right? So your 30 to 60-second joints, like where you really have to kind of like get to the point already, make those. I had a professor who would say, if you're going to raise your hand and talk in class, make sure it's a right. So take those zingers, and you know it because you're interacting with your people, right? And they're literally telling you what like hits the hardest. Take those bits, turn those into reels, and then you're going to shout out your Facebook group or your community. What it could be, I mean, literally you can build community anywhere on social media, Reddit, Discord, even like Twitch. Like it's, I do a lot with Facebook groups, but really this stuff kind of applies everywhere. Come up with those zingers, right? And then you can put in the description, a longer thing. So the video's looping while somebody's reading your long description thing, if you're into that
Yep.
sort of, right? And then you can
There's a
tag.
feature for that in OneStream Live.
What's that?
There's a feature for looping. You can loop a video 8 times in a row if you want.
Oh, I see. So then your call to action, and you can say this when you're recording also. If you liked this thought nugget, whatever you want to call it, if you like this tip and you want to hear more and you want to hang out with your people about this special interest, whatever, join my Facebook group. It's called blah, blah, blah. I tagged it in the description. And this is how you find your people beyond your current network, right? So when we're building our community online and we're just showing up in all the sort of like typical ways, it seems like you're kind of talking to the same 5 people on Facebook over and over again at a certain point. It's like, how do I people? One of them is leveraging somebody else's audience, which is what I'm doing right now. And another way to do it is to use a tool on your preferred platform that actually gets pushed out beyond your immediate network, and that is Reels.
Hey, I think I got it. I've been using short form video. I take my long form, I chop it up. I like 15 seconds to 2 minutes max. But I've been putting affiliate links in the descriptions. I didn't think that I could use it to grow my group. But now that you've shown me the light, I will follow.
It doesn't always have to be the same message. I love sharing affiliate links, so it makes sense. And also, you can, if we're being like Facebook specific right now, you can tag your group in the description, but you can pop links into the comments. Hyperlinks don't work in the description, but tags do. And then save your links for in the description. Oh, by the way, I linked the products I'm talking about in the comments. Go check that out. You can mix it up. And so Reels Fest, right? I'm not necessarily like, the world's expert on video content or on making reels, or like I've never gone viral. So like, let's put that aside for a moment. We're just talking about using a new tool in an effective way to get people into our communities. And the community building part, that's I know. And I know that like it's the way to get beyond your current network. And what I have noticed since I've been dabbling in reels is that they're really, really shareable. People like to share reels, right? People want likes and clicks and comments and things. People want the engagement. Not everybody knows how to get it. Not everybody wants to create content. Something I kind of like rail against is posting like other people's branded content, because why would you send people your like somebody else's website or Instagram or whatever? That's like, I could talk about that soapbox. But like, if we flip it around in the positive, people who are either like in your industry or industry adjacent, who respect what you say and see that it's a good point and people are reacting to that point, it's really easy for them to share your reels. And then it gets shared not just to the network, but like the network of their network. So it has this like potential reach that's really, really incredible. And the why for Reels Fest, which you should come to. I mean, we're not going to do like, if you want to lip sync and if you want to dance, that's by all means, rock on. But what we're really going to do is just focus on showing up. Like, your face really is your moneymaker if you are the face of your business, right? You're going to show up and talk about your Facebook group and like why you started it and who belongs there, so that we reach the right people to come into your community. Because there's no sense in like viral growth with people who have nothing to do with your end goal. It's just like vanity metrics at that point. And I think in this community, people will understand that, that it's really about the quality of those connections and the quality of the engagement rather than the vanity numbers, right? But here's like the secret sauce for Reels Fest that you should sign up for. Do we have the link? I guess we'll put it in the comments. It's rockyourtribe.com/reels if you want to sign up. Because we're doing in a 3-day event and we're going to be there. It is. Yeah. Sign up there, because we are doing it together in a 3-day event in a pop-up Facebook group where you're going to post the link to your reels so everybody can see. Everybody will be encouraged to watch, like, comment, share. So we have that added benefit of it being sort of a temporary engagement pod, so there's that. There's 120 something people registered for it already. So hopefully all of them show up and participate. We'll see. But just know that it's going to be like a really good crowd. And I'm kind of, DJ'd for a living. I'm a pretty good party starter. So that's real.
Rachel, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
it was just me and you on Thursday. I want people to come to your event, but I was happy that I had all of your attention. I know it's selfish, but hanging out with you, listening to what you said, and it was very easy to implement all the things you suggested. I did it that same day, probably less than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I even I forgot what it's called. I use a group converter to hook up to my group so I can collect the names and email addresses with the questions. Even
Mm-hmm.
hook that up or change that around because I mean it wasn't something that you told me to do, but I know it was something I was supposed to do. But you told me to change those questions. You told me to put out engagement questions. I did it. I got engagement a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very happy that I got to have time with you one on one. I know what you're talking about. That's therefore I know that you're magic. So yeah. So using going live after posting those questions. How do you know a good way that I can find questions for my group to have more engagement?
I have a list of 365 of them for sale.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rockyourtribe.com/engagement party. I was trying to be cute. It was like a Valentine's Day offer, so I was like, engagement party. Ugh. Anyway, I have a whole list of them, and the way I have it set up is there is a sheet, like a worksheet that's like key terms first that we can customize. So we don't want everybody in every Facebook group connected to me to all of a sudden be like sharing the same exact engagement questions all the time, because then it's like, But
Yeah.
it's all customizable, and I walk you through it. And but aside from that, think about like if you literally having a party with your about your special interest, right? Or you're like whatever it is that's bringing you together, what would you talk about? Like literally, ask questions that you care about the answer to, like I think people think it, or they feel like they have to get lots of like ask kind of like ball questions that like a lot of people can answer but are maybe not totally relevant to the group or the brand. And it's okay. Like it's okay to just sort of like stir up engagement sometimes, but you got to give people a reason to hang out in your world. It's got to make sense for if it's like a brand world, like you're in a brand bubble, right? So if you're in my Facebook group, it's about business and Facebook groups, but I also bring this to the table, right? So music and festivals and things that fit under this like party umbrella. So I have wiggle room to say like, okay, we're gonna make a playlist today. What song would you put on it to pump yourself? And
Your theme
you can also,
song.
what's your song? Like getting to know you, icebreaker questions are cool, but we want to sort of stay in the world, in the brand, in the world of the brand of your Facebook group. And you don't, okay. So here's what I see a lot is like people ask them like it's a test, like it's very examish, and it's like, oh my god, what if I get it wrong? And I think that puts people off. But when people ask like the two-part question that's like, what do you think of blah and why? It's like, whoa. But what you can do, even if it's a yes question, even if it's a one-word answer type question, just let people respond, and then you can ask a follow-up question, right? Because the magic happens in the comments more than anything else. That's where you get to know people. And I think when it's a community that is for a brand, right? We're selling a product, or we're selling a service, we're selling our help, whatever it is. We don't want questions to feel like the bait for you to make a pitch, right? So like, what's your biggest struggle with live streaming? And then no matter what anybody says, the answer is, well, book a power hour with me, or book a discovery call with me, or buy my thing. Like, and you don't know from that one comment if you can really help that person, because the way people perceive their problems and talk about their problems, at least like first pass, is it might not be the thing. People who are not as deep as you into whatever it is you do, they don't
Yeah.
know. They don't know, right?
Yeah.
But so here's where we can take this into video content, live stream, and reels. you can watch for the patterns, right? So if people come to me about Facebook groups and they're like, I don't know how to engage it. What do I do to engage my group? I get asked this all the time. If you and I met privately one-to-one, I would say, okay, pull up your Facebook group. Let's look at it. And the things I would be looking for is, can I clearly see as an outsider who this group is for and why they should join before we even talk about engagement? So somebody could come to me and say, my problem is engagement, when I know the problem is you have not defined who your group is for and why they should join, first of all, and made it unique amongst your competitors. I can tell already you've not done your competitor analysis to see if there is a market for this and what your unique lane is in the market, if there is one, right? But if I, ask this in my Facebook group, like, what is your biggest struggle with your Facebook group? And somebody said engagement, and then I went directly to, well, buy my thing or book a call. Let the conversation, and this is a sales conversation, right? Like the diagnosing part. You always want to diagnose, and let them prescribe. Just keep asking the questions, and you can mention like, oh, with one client I did this and one example, and what I think you're talking about sounds a lot like somebody who used this thing that I have, right? And so by the end of it, they're like, you know what? I realize what I really need to do right now is book a 1-hour session with you. How do I do that? Sign up. Let them talk themselves into working with you.
I like that. It's like, have all your case studies laid out for them. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Oh, I was going to relate this to video. I forgot. So then you can take this, right? Like you take this sort of gap here between like what somebody thinks they want or need from you to like what they actually need from you, and you can turn this right here. This is a thought shifter, a perspective shifter, and people love short form video and content. Helps them think about something differently, quickly, in an interesting way, right? This is hot engagement material, right? So what you are doing is pinpointing like, what is the mental shift that I need people to make in order for them to realize like how we're going to work together and that they need to work with me. And you can see it from like, I know that people are going to come to me about engagement, but the truth is we need to talk about branding. And so I could go, and that's quick, right? So I could go on a reel and be like, one of the number one questions that people ask me about Facebook groups is about engagement. You'd be really surprised by my answer. If you want to read all about it, check it out in the description. So then this reel is like looping while people are reading my description. Like you think it's an engagement problem, but really it's probably a branding issue. Here are like 1, 2, 3 quick tips to do this. And oh, by the way, if you want to learn more, join my Facebook group.
Yeah. In my group, while just live streaming, there's plenty of arguments about should you live stream a virtual summit. And I'm thinking, yes, you should. Even if you're just live streaming an hour of it. Even if you just take clips of that, you're going to use that as a promotion to advertise your next event. Hopefully everyone knows, and please know, it is not just one event and it's all over. Please chop it up. Advertise for your next event. Mm-hmm. A lot of people also wonder about live streaming and pre-recording. I'm always going to vote for live streaming because after it's done, I'm going to chop it up and put it back out there. But always live streaming first for me. But I know that's not what's best for me, or what I like is not for everybody else. Like I have great conversations with you. Not only did we have a conversation on Thursday and we're doing it today, but the conversations are so good, I'm going to schedule these talks so they can go back out again so people know who Rachael is. They know about Real Fest, and they know how to grow their community. So yes, for me, and these are my conversations, live stream, use that pre-recording, and yes, even if it's just an hour, live stream the first hour of your event. Yeah. I'm not sure if you thought about that. I mean, your event's going to be free, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in one place or not. I know you're going to have it live, but are you going to multi-stream it?
Well, the event Reels Fest is going to happen in the pop-up Facebook group for the
Okay.
event. But what I was going to do was, since you asked, I was actually going to release the daily tasks. It's 3 days with a task each day, which is to make a reel. But I'm going to tell you what to do, so don't even worry about like figuring it out. I'm going to tell you, and it's simple. I'm going to release the reels that explain the tasks from my profile as a reel, right? And then share it into the pop-up group so that people outside of the pop-up group can see we're doing this thing and you can still join us. And also when people post their reels, the point is for them to go on their profiles or business page or Instagram, wherever you want to do your reel. I don't care, but it's just do it. You know what I mean? Like go where your people are, but post your reel publicly and then share it into the group so we can all go interact with this public reel and hopefully blast out the message of we are doing this thing and you can still join us, or come around, like sign up now to find out about the next one, or get a Facebook group and you'll know about all the other awesome stuff that we do with community and growth and stuff. So kind of, it's not live streamed that way because it's reels, but we are putting it out into the wider world of Facebook.
Okay, I understand that.
But if you got ideas, I'm open.
Well, in my personal opinion, I want to be everywhere. Um, I've tried when I first started live streaming. I only live streamed to Facebook, and since I love LinkedIn, and I couldn't live stream there at the beginning, this is like 2 years ago, I asked them to come to Facebook. I got deleted. I got cussed out. I was asked to never ask them again to take them away from LinkedIn and bring them into Facebook. So I started using OneStream Live, and I never asked them to move again. So now they can stay on LinkedIn and they can watch me there.
Wow.
The same with Twitter, Twitch, and DLive. They don't have to leave their platform. I can meet them where they are and just have them be there. At the same time, I do not know if I'm diluting my audience or not, but I try to meet them where they are.
I think it makes sense for you because this is what you do. Like it's very on brand for you to demonstrate this is how you can leverage all of this tech in order to have that be everywhere effect, and meet everybody where they are. And I think when we are the face of our business, like you and I are, it's our job to demonstrate what happens, take it to the umpteenth level, because that's right. That way we're pushing people's boundaries or pushing people's conception of what is possible, and they can kind of look at the menu of what we're doing and say, okay, I don't really need to be in 17 places, but I do like the flexibility. I do like the option. I'm thinking about expanding into this other place later, so OneStream Live is better for me than this other streaming platform that is more limited.
Yeah. Understood. So I like OneStream because it works. That's all I got. It works, and they got great customer service.
That's fantastic. Honestly, this is my introduction to OneStream, and if I had been introduced to it earlier, it might be the platform that I would have gone with.
It's not too late.
Yeah. So so that's why it's important for you to get the word out, right? Like that's why you are a partner in Live, and you brought everywhere so you can spread that message so the platform finds the right people.
That's what I was hoping for. I want everybody to know that this is what I can do using OneStream Live. Oh, I am not sure if you're interested, but I gotta tell somebody. I just found out. Yeah, it's like big news for me, so I gotta tell somebody. In Air Meet, I love Air Meet. I also love OneStream Live. OneStream Live just came out with the studio. all these graphics that I put in here, I did it within 10 minutes or less. Like, I stole all of Rachel's stuff from all of her social platforms and I put it here and it worked. So
Yeah.
in AirMeet, I can use OneStream Live Studio inside of AirMeet, and I can use the custom RTMP to live stream all my channels. So I was amazed, like, yay for automation. Like, I'm ecstatic. I am not sure if that will help you if you ever wanted to host an event on AirMeet, Rachel, but I had to tell somebody because
Well,
for me that's amazing.
that's awesome. Well, you'll have to explain it to me more later.
Okay.
But I'm really excited because you're excited.
I was amazed. It was like a big banner just popped up and it's like, would you like to live stream inside? I was like, yes, I would. I have an app for that. Like anything that has to do with no code automations or RSS feeds, you got my attention. So you had spoke about making a playlist, and I told you on the last time we talked that I wanted to make a playlist of all of my long form content. But since we started talking about reels, I'm gonna make a playlist of all my shorts. So I was thinking about 10 to 12, and because as a graphic designer, that makes a good portfolio. But at the same time, I have the ability to live stream for like 30 hours. I'm not sure if that's a thing that I should do, but I'm thinking I should hook that up and let it play all day.
You know what? If you have an artistic vision, okay, so let's talk like art and science, right? So we have this sort of love for strategy, but there's an art to it too. And just there's something to be said for feeling your way into creating and creating spontaneously and just seeing options, right? And thinking like, that sounds cool. I want to try it. For me personally, my best creations come out of like whims, daydreams, things that I think would be cool versus the things where I just sit down and I'm like, I'm going to be very logical and strategic about this because this is what needs to happen in this order because people need this. And that's the stuff that flops. It's crazy. I, I tried something in my Facebook group a couple of months ago that I never in a million years would have tried, but I'm working with a new business coach who was like, you should try this. And I'm like, well, okay, you say so, an invisible offer. And what it is you don't tell anybody what it is at first. A low investment. So we started at $25. So I said, you can buy this mystery thing. It's a thing for me. $25. Who's in? And no other details whatsoever. People bought it. Like a lot of people bought a $25 mystery thing from me. As we bumped the price up every couple of days, we would release some more details and bump the price up. And I thought for sure, as we reveal, it was going to be like a networking session talking about relationship building. And, like this is how wealthy people operate. It's all based on relationships. It's not based on all this hustle, right? So I wanted to make this point that we can sort of short circuit the system for ourselves. If we don't have that level of access now, at least we can be working on building these relationships through our communities that will eventually manifest as, big boss moves, right?
Yeah.
I thought as I revealed more details about that, people would be like, hell yeah, I want that. No, more people bought it when they didn't know what it was. And the people who bought it and it was a live event, they loved it. They loved it because they know, not because they know I deliver. They know that I over deliver. They know that with me it's like all killer, no filler. I'm not here to waste your time. And everything that I talk about is actually like I mean, not peer-reviewed journal level, but like research-based, experience-based. Like, I have a master's degree in community partnership stuff. Like, I do know what I'm talking about, you know. So it's like worth your time. I think at least this is what my community members know about me. So they were up for the $25 thing, but it was crazy. As soon as I started talking about what's in the box, nah, because people don't really know what they don't know what they need. They want what they want for what they want, not necessarily for what they need. You know, if people invested in what they needed all the time, I mean, a lot of society's problems clear up, right? Like a lot are kind of like of our own making, you know, because we are choosing to feel good in the moment versus, you know, sustainability long term. So why
Understood.
why would it be any different, you know, for the people on Facebook that we're trying to sell to?
Well, you were a stranger on the internet, and I listened to you because it felt like I could trust you. Like trust, like emanates from you, so I believed that and followed through. So that's why I listened to you. So maybe that's why they listened to you when you had an invisible box with something that was going to be good for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. Here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about that, though. The more the farther I advance, right? Because I'm constantly pursuing new certifications and opportunities and things, just moving things along as I, you know, pursue this calling of, you know, business and community crossroads thing. I have like my opinions about stuff, which are actually kind of polarizing sometimes. So while I have people like you, and it makes sense to me that we get along so well and that we vibe with each other because like we're definitely like on the same wavelength about, you know, social media and strategy and showing up and all of these things. I say the same stuff in other arenas, like the social pariah. Like I get tarred and feathered. Seriously, like at the same time, like you're in my DMs, like giving me compliments are so beautiful. Like I so appreciate it. At the same time, I have somebody in another group coming at me. I'm like, this is bizarre. But I guess like that's how you know you're doing it right when your opinion like stirs people up. And I just answered a question. I just answered a question like, hey, this is my take on this thing. And someone was like very offended and like, no, you don't, blah blah. And I'm whoa there.
There's a saying for that, Rachel. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing nothing.
You know, it's true. I lived in Atlanta for 10 years, can confirm.
I love it because you're doing great things. You're showing people that you're brilliant. If people implement on the things you tell them to do, they will get results, and I love that. So, yeah. Yeah, there's so many arguments that I've been in about. I hang out in event groups, and I tell them, yes, live stream your first hour of your event, and they're like, no, that will ruin ticket sales. I was like, no, people want to
How many tickets did
be
you really
nosy. Yeah, people want to know what's going on.
I've been invited to speak at a number of summits in the last couple of years, and here's my take on summits. You can tell me what you think. But I think the real value of being a summit speaker is the community of speakers, not so
Mhm.
much like the audience you might meet. It's really about being among peers or even people who are ahead of you in business or whatever it is that you do, who might open some doors for you. And taking the time to hang out, like if there's a summit lounge, like a Facebook group
Oh
that's
yeah.
a lounge, hang out there, contribute, and support each other. Go to each other's talks, interact, engage, do shout outs, like big each other up. I think that is the real value of summits. Not so much like ticket sales, not so much like how many of your items you're going to sell. Like for me, it's some people come into my world and buy because it's like exactly what they needed in that moment, and I'm very convincing, I guess. But like the really good clients that you have, they tend to be people who have been following you for like a year, 2 years. They're getting ready. They're moving things around. They're like, okay, now is when I need you. So I don't really trip off of, selling stuff at summits. Like I've definitely done the hand wringing. Like, do I sell low ticket? Do I sell high? What do I promote? Blah, blah, blah. Because, some summit directors will kind of like, that's the carrot on the stick, right? Like you can sell your thing at the summit. And it's like, okay, cool. I just want to hang out with, these people and like build deeper connections. And that's why it's with those temporary communities of speakers and attendees, don't make them temporary. Like,
Yes.
Either keep that community, keep it rolling, and then build off of it the next event, or lead them into your all-time Facebook group so they can continue to stay in your world. And I mean, you as the summit organizer want them to buy from you eventually too. I mean, that's kind of part of it, right? So they're closer to you and they buy your services like, oh, you hosted this thing. That's amazing. I'll buy whatever, right? So you want them to stay in your world too and buy from you and buy from each other. So
I gotta tell you, Rachel,
yeah.
You are describing enrollment events, because I love enrollment events. So not only do you get your group of speakers, but you take that top 10, top 12, again, graphic design portfolio, and you have those speakers teach in your course. So that way, that same group of audience will get to hang out with those speakers for just a little while longer.
Oh.
Yay, enrollment events.
That is good. That is good.
I love summits because in my own mind, I am a linchpin. I want to connect you with the audience I think will best fit them and them to you. And yes, you can make partnership deals with the other speakers because that's a thing.
Yep. See, this is why we get along so well, because I'm a dot connector, and I'm trying to help people understand who it is. I mean, this is what it all kind of boils down to. Are you talking to your people about stuff that they care about? Like, I see people like getting all stressed out about content and content marketing, and I gotta buy a course about content so I learn how to blah blah blah. And then like writing these long-winded like, oh, the transformation story with a selfie of me and like typical coachy coach pose, whatever. Okay, I'm going off right now. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Like, just start conversations with your people about stuff that you guys care about.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how easy it was until you told me. I mean, I tried to put out engagement content, but I didn't think they cared because they didn't engage with it.
Yeah,
but I didn't think that I could use my 3 questions in the group to start a conversation, and sure enough, it did. I mean, all the time. I can talk about automation all day. It's like I've met a lot of other event producers who either didn't know what it was, but all of a sudden they showed up because I wrote it how you told me to write it.
So you become like,
that was the magic.
You become the go-to person about event automations, and that is rich, right? It's not just summit hosting, event production. There's lots of people that do event production and summit hosting, summit management, but you actually serve those people, right? And come along and be like, how you are grinding, like you're doing a great job providing your services, but you got to serve like so many people in order to make a profit, and you're running yourself into the ground. I can help you either get your time back or make it so you can scale your ability to serve more clients. How does that sound?
Amazing.
There you go. And then you sell your services in helping them automate their event.
So now I got to know, are you secretly a copywriter?
No, but I have been known to ghostwrite a little bit for my clients. Like I wind up just writing stuff sometimes. Like it just happens. But yeah, I mean, I could be a copywriter.
I was about to say, I see you, Rachel. I know you can do now.
I feel like that would be like a whole other mountain to climb. But if anybody's interested in my copywriting services, hit me up.
Pick me, pick me.
We'll talk here. Whatever you need, check it out. Creative offers. Honestly, people are like really obsessed about like, what is your offer and what are all the things, and it's like, just we'll talk. We'll figure it out. Like retainer, and you can have my brain.
That's actually a good plan.
It's a lot less complicated.
Well, everyone, Reels Fest is coming up September 12th through the 14th. Rachel says it's going to be short, but I already know it's going to be very informative. So it's a free event. Everyone should check it out. And I also want you to know, let's see, let me find it here. Let's see. With OneStream Live, you can, stream up to 40 plus platforms. And I love that. I mean, for myself, I only have 11 set up, but if I can set up all of them, I just need to find the time to set up all of them so I can live stream everywhere. Because I want to be omnipresent, multi-stream everywhere, just because I can. Just because OneStream gave me the ability to, and they're not charging me extra for it. So, yay! There was one more. Let's see. Not that one. I got a lot of buttons. I wish that I could color code them. But with OneStream Live, if you use my affiliate link, you can you can get 20% off any plan. Let's see, and I have a ticker for that. Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, get 20% off any OneStream Live plan when you use my affiliate link. So, yay! So, Rachel,
I have an automation idea for you. I'm jumping in. I'm interrupting. I'm sorry, but you could, from your business page in the Meta Business Suite, there's like a chat bot up for your messenger for your page, and so you could create like one of the frequently asked questions that you could talk to your chat bot about is, what is your affiliate link for OneStream? So you could tell people, like, instead of like writing down this whole long URL, you could use the redirect link too. But you could be like, go talk to my chatbot and ask my chatbot for the link, and my little robot's going to give you the link.
Okay.
And now you've got some interactions on your business page.
I like that. I recently bought a chatbot from AppSumo, of course, and I haven't set it up yet because I don't know how, and I haven't sat down to really to follow the directions.
But can be really good. There's like really finicky rules for it from Facebook. So this thing where like you can't message anybody if it's been over 24 hours since they've interacted with your bot. Weird stuff like that. Anyway.
That's something for me to think about because I haven't set it up. I got it to set up and I haven't done it yet. There's I'm not sure if you know Book Like a Boss, but when I send out requests for people to be guests on the show, it sends out a Zoom link. So that's why I didn't send you one, because it sends out a Zoom link and I wanted to use OneStream Live Studio. But in one of the questions it asks, would you like to have 20% off OneStream Live Studio? And if you answer yes, I email you the affiliate link.
There you go. That's good.
So I'm trying to use my affiliate links.
I love affiliates.
Okay, Rachel, tell everyone where's your favorite social media hangout spot so they can find you.
Obviously, in my Facebook group. It's Rock Your Tribe Community Building for Business Leaders, or go to rockyourtribe.com/Facebook, and that'll take you to my Facebook group. Of course, Reels Fest. That's the place to be. So rockyourtribe.com/Reels. Erica's going to be there, so
yes.
Obviously.
So I haven't did this, and see, I got to show people all the things that OneStream can do. So I got to show people your Facebook group when I find it. I brought it up. I tabs open. I'm just gonna go to to do the infinity window,
Okay.
and I am going to go to the group.
Hey, there it is.
You can see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Hooray. Would you rather have lots of low ticket clients or customers, or a few high ticket ones? So, yeah. These are the kind of questions you get when you hang out with Rachel and her group.
Yeah, keep scrolling, keep
Also,
scrolling. Wait, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Let's find a really good
okay.
one. That one's from the
I like
same
this one too. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I think it's really important to I appreciate you. I think it's really important to remind your community members, because what is your community without your members? Duh.
True.
Right? And giving people creative ways to promote their stuff other than just like, hey, promo post, blah, like let's do kind of a roll call thing, roll call physical products, roll call, coaching services.
Yeah.
Whoa,
I
infinity
wanted
screen.
to.
Oh,
Sorry.
there we go.
I also wanted to share. Your, I think it's called a lead magnet, an opt-in page.
The landing page with a very cool freeze frame, looking cute there.
Grow your Facebook group with reels. So,
and a little promo
yes.
reel about it. Oh, me looking like, hey. Oh, something's very funny.
I think this is a very nice landing page. My favorite thing is that you have your button before the scroll. That's very important to me. And you have in graphic design, your design is supposed to answer who, what, when, where, why, how, the time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that. So, yay. Or else it would bother me because I would be like, how come it didn't answer these questions? Okay, so I am going to stop sharing now. Stop. When I figure it out, oh yeah, there's an off button for that. Or a hide button. Yeah, there it is. So, now I gotta bring us back. I thought I could.
We're in the Matrix.
It's not a screen. I hit it. I'm showing it again. I hit it. Let's see. It's not in screen. Oh, I did it. Yay for me.
Yay.
OneStream Live, it was in beta. It's now out for everyone, and I'm still getting the hang of it, but I like it. So, Rachel, your Hangout spot is your Facebook group, Rock Your Tribe, and you have Real Fest coming up September 12th through the 14th. Anything else that we need to know before we go?
What do you need to know? Have an awesome day. I really appreciate you all for being here. And thank you, Erica.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. And bye for now.